Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. When I started this podcast project, it's more of a creative outlet for me, and I hope you guys enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy making them. And my next guest, Mark, man, we're all over the place. What great conversation we had. And there's a little treat at the end. A couple topics we hit on is Saturn, the beautiful planet, and how the atomic bomb got the attention of aliens. So let's get to it. Sounded pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that sounded good.
Not bad for a little setup like this.
Yeah.
And I've people that listen all the time, they hear me say it a lot, but because I get asked all the time.
Oh, about how you set it up?
How I set it up, how I got started,
Uh-huh.
what was my format. And I was like, I ain't got a fucking clue, dude. And as you know, because you helped me out when I first got it, but it was, I just bought some stuff, man, and just did it.
Just do it.
Yeah. And then just, the whole analysis paralysis. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, you could spend, 6 months trying to figure out what the best setup is. And the best setup is the one that's working.
Yeah. I like to play cards, and I was playing cards the other night, and a lady said something about her hand because she lost.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, doesn't matter what I had, or it doesn't matter.
Oh, was she asking him what he?
How it should go, how it should do this, how it should be this, and he's like, I'm winning.
Yeah.
That's all that fucking matters. So it's like, just do it, man. Just why you got to slow down? Why you got to overthink things?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good theme for a lot of things.
Yeah,
Not just
you could apply that to a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So what's up with you, man? You just come down from New York?
Yeah.
You tracking down some lovely ladies, are you?
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
You got to put the work in,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Nothing is worth having unless you sweat for it.
Oh, I'd say that's the truth.
Yeah. I mean,
because you don't appreciate things that you don't sweat for.
Holy Christ, absolutely.
And you could have the best thing in the world,
but if you didn't earn it
or whatever, if you didn't earn it, then you look down your nose at it.
Absolutely. So, like, if you woke up with $200 million tomorrow, what are you going to do with it? Like, of course, people will blow up and be like, I know what the fuck I'll do with it, and this, that, and the other. But no, can you fathom $200 million?
No.
Can you realistically?
I have no idea what that would do for me, except
cause a lot of fucking problems.
No, I would go and instead of getting the breakfast sandwich without the bacon,
I'd get
it with the bacon and the cheese.
Whoa, and cheese.
I'd be like, I think I can afford it now. But like that's how limited the vision is.
Yeah, because you're not used to it.
Right.
Right? It's relative to you or irrelative. Relative? Like money's relative. How do you say that?
Money's relative to what you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have an example. I have a very wealthy friend.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Played cards with him a lot. He owns crazy cars and all that shit, right?
Like all the toys.
Yeah, all the toys, right?
Yeah.
And he explained to me, like he has this cool car, whatever it is. And he says that part of he's got a budget, just like you and I do.
Right.
Right? And he says, I allow X amount of percent of my budget to be spent on vehicles.
Uh-huh.
Well, his percentage is much greater than mine.
Yeah.
So for him to drive around in that fancy car, he's still within his means or what he allows himself to budget, right? So, and then when we play cards, I don't play nowhere near the games he does because I can't afford them, right? I don't have the bankroll. But me playing in a $500 buy-in is like him playing in a $10,000 buy-in.
Wow. Yeah, but that's the truth. Yeah.
Right, it's relative, right?
Yeah.
It's to what's in front of you, what you know.
Exactly. It's like his budget has a couple more zeros on it than ours does.
Yeah, right, and he gets the bacon and cheese.
There you go. In fact, he doesn't just get it; he just calls up somebody and they bring it to him.
And they bring it to him, right? Or the man or woman that works in his house makes it in the kitchen and brings it to him, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's up with? You don't have? I thought you were dating a lovely lady. Over the pond.
Yeah.
That didn't work out?
Well, it worked out and it didn't.
Okay.
The worked out part was that we get along really well. But when it's a long distance like that, 4,000 miles, or as she might say, 6,000 kilometers,
Tomato, right?
yeah, same distance, but looked at it from different points of view. You don't get that much time together. You don't have, more than a week here, 2 weeks there,
That's
over the
tough.
course of the year. And, if I didn't like her, that would have been the easiest thing, because I could have just said, I don't need this.
Right.
But if you like somebody and then that situation happens, then it's like, then it hurts,
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'd really like to be with them, but there just is no way to make that happen. And we tried a bunch of ways, So we tried to figure out how to work there, for her to work here, and things like that. And it's just nothing was working out. And so I said, look, the reality of it is we're kind of alone with ourselves most of the time.
Right.
If that's the way it's going to be, we should be kind of
Doing your own
yeah,
thing.
free to do whatever we need to do.
Is that where you guys left it?
Yeah.
So just good friends now.
No, you see, if you say good friends, that's a definition,
Ooh.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
If you say that you're going out, that's a definition. So there's no definition, because I don't know anybody who's been there before. I'm sure there have been, but nobody.
You haven't been there before.
Yeah, I haven't been there before.
Right.
Nobody in my experience sphere of people that I know has been in this place before. So I don't want to label it and name it, because as soon as you do that, then you go, oh, then this applies and this applies and this applies.
Oh, okay.
So just leave it there. It's like, we tried and that didn't work. Now we need to be kind to each other and
Just see where it goes.
see what happens. Yeah.
Ah, congratulations, dude.
Yeah. So
Now on to
on to whatever comes up next.
whatever lands on your doorstep,
Yeah, and
or whatever
it's-
doorstep you darken.
Well, well, the funny thing is that as much as I'd like it to happen this way, things don't just come to you if you're laying on your couch.
Yes, exactly.
So you have to go out and you have to be present.
Well, you gotta-
which is a good thing anyway.
Well, you should. You shouldn't be a hermit and lay on your couch. You should be out there exploring things and
Yeah.
seeing what's available to you. And
Yeah, just
and-
see what life. I mean, to get back into that part of life where you're playing with your friends, you're hanging out, you're doing things,
Yeah.
and that's what life is. As some people want to think that life is, that they've got this plan. Once I execute the plan,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
that job, I get that car, and everything. That's the life. That's not it. Life is what you do every day.
well, every minute of
Yeah.
the day, Well, I mean, you could break it down like that, but
Yeah.
I just think like going to the movies by yourself or going to dinner
Yeah.
by yourself. I've never had a problem with that, and I've
Yeah.
always really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
don't have a problem doing anything by myself.
Well, yeah. I'm in the same bucket.
Yeah. And I've never had a problem like going out. Like I would go out to a nightclub by myself and just walk right in and
Yeah.
do my thing, or I'm more of a country guy, so
Yeah.
country club or
Yeah.
honky tonk or whatever it may be at the time.
Right. Yeah.
But I know people that are like, "Oh my god,
Yeah. Yeah.
you did what?" And it's like, "Well, fuck, dude, just walk in and just make the best of
Yeah,
it."
it's funny
If
'cause
and I've had good times, and I've had
And sometimes not so
you
good.
just walk
Yeah.
on, you're like, whatever.
Yeah, just like that. Well, it wasn't good tonight, But it's
Yeah.
funny that you say that, because I had a friend of mine who happens to be a salesperson, And a lot of times salespeople are more
Outgoing.
there,
Or they should be.
Yeah, but when and he was very successful at what he
So
did.
he's outgoing.
So he's outgoing.
Yeah.
But, when I told him I would go places and I would be by myself sometimes, he was shocked, He's like, I can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? You could talk to anybody. You could talk to a tree.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
But it is different.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I'm a lifetime salesperson as well. I think the difference is what popped into my mind was, as a salesperson, you have an agenda, you have a destination, you have a
You
purpose.
got something to back you up.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm here because I'm going to sell you
Yeah.
something, right?
Right.
If you just walk in just to fucking walk in,
Yeah.
okay, now it's on you. And
Yeah.
you got to have the command presence to stand there and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here. What's up?
Yeah.
Good or bad,
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is too, if it's not working, just fucking leave.
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not proving
dude.
anything to anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like, what are you proving if you stand there and like tough it out? Ah,
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. Life's
Exactly.
too
It's
short.
like, who needs pain?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I pay extra for that
Oh,
sometimes.
well, that's another story, and I'm sure you get good value for your money.
Yeah, yep. But speaking of honky tonks and
Yeah.
bars and stuff, do you frequent those establishments?
I would say that
Being a single gentleman?
I generally don't get a lot of mileage out of those places.
Okay.
You know, there's some places that I go to because I do music stuff. So my purpose in being there would be like to be at an open mic or something.
Yeah, so you're
You know?
like a salesman. You have a purpose of being there.
Yeah,
You're not
for
going,
that. Now, there are times when I'll just go out. You know, I'll be by myself. I'll go out, or I'll have a friend and we'll go out to a place around town. But it's not something I think about doing. I think more about meeting up with somebody that I already know and going there with them. You know?
Now, when you say there, do you talking like dinner, a movie, like all that stuff? Or will you just, if
Yeah.
you're at home and you see that a movie on a Thursday night, a movie that you,
Yeah, I'll
excuse me,
go.
a movie that you like is out and you just go?
Yeah. Well, sometimes what I'll do is during the day I'll text a couple people and see if they're around. You know.
Oh, yeah. Cause,
Because it's always nice to have somebody to talk to about the movie afterwards.
right.
But you know, if nobody's there, yeah, and I want to see it, I'll go. You know,
So
it's not
you
a big
gotta-
deal. You know, but I also have to be careful about where I sit because when I find that when I'm by myself like that, if I'm around too many people who are very loud, you know, it kind of jars me out of my head.
Okay.
You know, because
okay.
I can be in a good head for where I am. I can be friendly with people and stuff like that. But when people have their own exclusive groups, you know, and they're kind of like the loudness sort of takes over the environment.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No, I get
Yeah,
that. I
and
get
sitting
that.
right next to that is not as
Well-
good as sitting a few seats away.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as a human species, we're clan. You know, we
Well, yeah.
our DNA is to be around other people.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, that's where we're built. So I think we find comfort in that.
yeah.
But
yeah.
there are people that can go out, especially with society nowadays, man. Just
Mm-hmm.
fuck. I don't know. I guess what the point of that was, if you want to do something, don't let anything stop you.
Oh no,
Just do it. You know, and some things are gonna go well, and some things aren't. I got a really good example. You know, I like to ride motorcycles, right?
Sure.
And my wife and I took the Pacific Coast Highway,
Oh, that's beautiful.
right?
Out there.
Rented a motorcycle, went down that.
Yeah.
Coming out of L.A. on the 405,
Mm-hmm.
we crashed.
No.
Yeah, this traffic is fucked,
Yeah.
dude. Whew. 100% my fault.
So you were just sitting there going from idle to first gear.
Yeah,
in traffic,
well,
right?
yeah, we were in the flow of traffic. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm used to Jersey traffic. Like,
Yeah.
I tell my dad all the time. I talk to my dad all the time. You know,
Uh-huh.
I drive a lot, so I'm in traffic a lot. And if anybody's from Jersey, they know this, or
Yeah.
New York, you know, that kind of traffic, which is going to be different from
Sure, it's a different
California,
complexion.
which I'll
Yeah.
get to, is I can be going down, and everybody knows this, you can be going down a 3-lane highway.
Uh-huh.
It's 70, 75 miles an hour,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be, in Jersey. And I don't feel like uncomfortable.
Right.
Like you're just going with the flow of traffic.
Right.
You know, that's like blood going through a vein, you know, just like everybody's used to doing that. And if somebody kind of gets out of the lane, everybody just kind of works with it. It just seems
It seems to work.
it seems to work. It's kind of like the people in the subway.
Yeah.
What fucks people up in the subway
Yeah.
is somebody that's not used to dealing with the subway and goes against the grain and
Yep.
fucks everything up.
Yep.
But if they're used to commuting on the subway, it works really
It's-
well.
yeah,
That's how
sure.
so many people. But I found out really quickly in LA, it's not like that. And I've heard multiple people tell me the traffic is not like that. Kind of like everybody's out for themselves. I'm not trying to down anybody
Yeah.
or give anybody shit. Just fuck, it's the way it is, right? And we had a long day the day before. We had a really great dinner, brunch with some friends. So we got on the highway. Shit, man, I had Kid Rock blaring in the radio, and we were just all kicked back, relaxed, and I just was not in the mindset of 405 fucking LA
Yep.
traffic. I was in the mindset of back road country driving, you know.
Yep.
So I had a guy slam his brakes in front of
Yeah.
me,
That'll do
crash into him.
it. Yeah.
I almost had it under control, and then he stopped again, and then I hit him, and we went bouncing
Yeah.
down the highway.
Wow.
Right? Long story short, so I was telling the story with a group of friends,
Uh-huh.
and the one lady goes, and how I started that story, got back up a little bit, is I've crashed a motorcycle a lot.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the lady goes, well, if you crash on a motorcycle, why do you still ride them? Okay. And I was like, because I've never had to put that into words before. Because the people that I've always been around, they just fundamentally understood that everybody likes to ride motorcycles.
Yeah,
And you
it
just
wasn't-
fucking ride motorcycles,
Yeah.
right? Even if you crash, you fucking get back on and you ride.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
The point I was going to make is, and what I told this lady, I love riding and I've had unbelievable experiences. We could talk for 3 days on the experiences that I've had on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Crazy good, fun stories, awesome. And throughout these podcasts, I'll probably tell some, right? But every time that I crashed, if I didn't get back on, I wouldn't have those experiences.
Oh, yeah,
that I've
it would be
had,
the end of that.
right?
Yeah.
Just because something happened to me in that instant, and it was my fault, 100%. Not like I can be like, oh, somebody ran me off the road.
Yeah.
No, it's 100% my fault. But look at all the experiences I would not have had
Yeah, yeah.
if I was just like, fuck it, I'm never riding a motorcycle again because I could get hurt.
Yeah.
Well, motherfucker, if you live under your bed, eventually it's going to fall
Well,
on
if you take a shower every morning, you could slip.
Well,
you
that's
know?
what, well,
Yeah.
that my saying is, if you
Yeah.
live under your bed, eventually it's going to fall on you. Right?
Yeah,
'Cause It's
exactly.
like, fuck, dude, get out and enjoy life.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a turn because I'm interested in your theory on this, or your interest in this topic. I like to watch documentaries and stuff like Nova, like about the universe, right? And I just watched one on Saturn
Okay.
where it was a couple years old, and the satellite's been banging around Saturn for like 20 years, and it was getting old.
And
so
taking
the-
pictures and doing stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Just super fucking cool, dude. Right? I mean, okay, here's this planet that's nothing but gas,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, and it's what they say, it's 700 times bigger than the Earth.
Yeah, that's hard to fathom.
You can't.
Yeah.
I can't even. You can't even. That's
Yeah.
beyond my comprehension.
Yeah.
I can't even. Nope. There's nothing there. I'm just.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at these pictures, and then of course they show some pictures of the Earth in orbit.
Uh-huh.
We don't mean fucking dick
You
in
mean
the big picture.
In the universe?
Holy
We're like
shit!
we're like a pinpoint.
Not
Yeah.
even that.
Yeah.
Can you? I was like, it for some reason it dawned on me.
Yep.
Just like watching this today, I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? And you're worried about what shirt you're going to put on.
Yep. You
Isn't that crazy?
You break one of your shoelaces, and that's the worst. Oh my God, my day is
Your day's
gone.
fucking. Oh fuck, dude, I'm dead. That's
know?
it. No, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
What the hell, dude?
It's such a big perspective thing, and it's cool that you see that. Like that you had that thing that 9/10 of the time none of us see, and that when you saw that, that's what occurred to you. That's a gift.
Oh, when you see.
Yeah, when you saw the insignificance of what we have, what's
yeah.
going on with us, that's a moment. That's really cool.
Well, when I think about that is, I drive a work truck, right, and nobody wants to get stuck behind a truck in traffic, right? So I get cut off. Fucking,
Yeah, so people don't treat you
it's
like an equal partner on the road.
No, I'm a piece of shit,
Yeah.
right? And anybody who drives a truck probably understands this, right? But knowing that, it's just like somebody pulls in front of me, I'm like, nah, dude, nah, fuck
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me anymore.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it comes from, and I don't fucking try to figure it out. I just, what, don't bother me, and I go on living my life. But it's just crazy how, and I do it too. I'm totally guilty of taking something so small and making such a big fucking deal out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're 5 minutes late, or
Yeah.
you spilled something on your shirt, or just so, you're just like, and it's like you said, it ruins your whole fucking day. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Who fucking cares?
Yeah. What I find is that when that kind of thing happens, I say it happens to me, because before I know it, I'm upset. It's like it's almost like I didn't have there wasn't like a fork in the road where left was you're okay and right is I'm upset.
No, you're
And
carrying-
I didn't choose upset. I was just there.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I was there, and so if that's what happens, it's just in me, you know.
Yep.
And I got to deal with it. If it's a choice, then it's a bad choice.
Well, if it's a choice, yeah. Well, that's on you. But,
Yeah, exactly.
But I just there's a saying. I love memes, you know, because
Yeah.
they portray so much information in quick snippet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And this one, it says, it's one of my favorite, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but I'll get it. It's, you're a meat-covered, or you're a ghost driving a meat-covered skeleton on a rock tumbling through the universe. Fuck, fear nothing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's like-
seriously, we're on a fucking rock.
Yeah.
Flying, and what the other, going back, I saw another Nova thing that I didn't know this until, when I say recently, I say in that last couple of years, is the sun is moving,
Okay.
the planets obviously orbit around the sun.
Right, so they're
you
trying to
can
follow.
imagine, yeah, it's actually, so think of it, the sun is dragging all the planets. I didn't
Wow.
know that.
Wow.
I thought the fucking sun was sitting still.
Yeah.
And everybody,
And we were
think
just around it.
Yeah.
That's really weird because when you just said that, I got this picture of somebody throwing like a soccer ball or something, and that's the sun. Somebody throwing that, and all these other things flying around, it,
Yeah.
staying with it.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
watched this, show, that's what it was
Yeah.
doing, and it was, you know, and then they spinning around it, but
Yeah.
it was fucking cool, dude. And then again, you're like, look how big the sun is, and that's one star.
Yeah, and it's not even a big star.
No, that's
Yeah.
the other thing too. They're like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
So, do you think there's other shit out there? Like,
I think there is.
there has to be.
Yeah, there has to be.
You
And-
can't say that we're the
Yeah.
only fucking rock that is that specific distance from a star
Yeah.
that can create life. But then the other thing too is even going bigger. That this is our version of life.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we understand. People standing on legs with 2 arms, 2 legs,
Breathing
and a head.
oxygen, getting rid of
Yeah.
carbon monoxide, right?
Yeah,
But like look in the depths of the ocean. There's
that stuff looks different.
yeah. So you
Yeah.
can't tell me that in some other fucking galaxy far, far away that there's a star
Yeah.
with a rock floating around it that provides it enough heat, yada,
to
yada,
get
yada.
things going. Yeah.
Right. There has to be.
And they
There has
could
to
have
be.
their ocean could be made of ammonia. You know, something that we would die.
Right.
If we were anywhere
Right.
near that.
But they thrive in it.
Yeah, that's what they could be breathing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
And
And I
it
did
just works differently.
another show. I've been on a kick of this lately, but it's always interested me since a little kid, the universe and all that. That one guy said, "You believe in it? So you believe in aliens visiting the Earth?"
Oh, so that's a second question. The first
Yeah.
one was like, is there any
Yes,
life? Right?
that's 2 questions.
And to tell you the truth, I think if they did, we might not know. Because if they were smart enough to get here, they're also smart enough to not be seen if they don't want to be seen. You know?
That's a good way to look at it. I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
If they're smart enough to get here,
Yeah.
travel however many.
I mean, it's not like they're in a canoe. You know, they got to be in some super fancy thing, that,
Right.
or you know, some kind of time tunnel or something that we don't even know about.
right.
You know,
So, the one show I watched, this guy said the reason that the percentage of quote unquote alien sightings have increased when we split the atom
oh really?
and blew,
Oh, because
and ignited a
yeah,
atomic bomb. And how he said it
Yeah.
was, we know there's wolves out there,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
So we pay attention to them. We know they're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what they're doing.
yeah,
But if one of them started riding a horse,
Yeah.
we'd be like, oh, we need to pay attention
yeah.
to that,
That
a little
one
closer.
we got to do something about.
Right.
Yeah.
So his theory is other life forms were like, it's a fucking rock and there's
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking people on it, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. All of a sudden, now, back in World War II, before World War II
Yep.
ended, these explosions started to happen, basically they recreate what's happening in the sun,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
Yeah.
So now they go, wait a minute, what are they doing down there?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it did. It was a milestone. It's a milestone in evolution of any species, whether they're here or somewhere else, when they get to the point where they can do that with atomic elements and stuff like that and make those kind of explosions, make the kind of
any
energy.
kind of milestone that brings
Yeah.
attention to it, that thrusts you into a whole different type of manipulating your environment.
Yeah. Well, but think about this. For example, there was a milestone when we started to have agriculture. So instead of just picking berries off of a tree, we say, oh, why don't we make a bush? And
Right.
we'll always
And
have the bush
control
in
it.
the same place, and why don't we plant wheat and things like that?
Right.
That's a milestone in evolution, right? But that might not be a threatening milestone. They're just like, oh, they can feed themselves, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
But this one, now they can destroy themselves and they
Or
can
destroy
destroy
something
somebody else.
Yeah.
That's maybe a trigger point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he went through, and of course it was a hour and a half long show, and they really got deep into it. But
Yeah.
the way he described it, I'm like, that actually makes sense to me.
Yeah, it also reminds me of, for example, if you have this concept of keeping guns at home, and
And a whole closet full of them.
yeah, well, okay, so think about now. Add to that children,
Okay.
and add to that, you come home one day and one of your kids is sitting there in front of the TV with one of your loaded guns.
Well, guns
Right.
should never be loaded in the house anyway.
Exactly, but if that was the situation, that's almost the same concept as you being the other civilization looking down and saying, wow,
Okay.
they've got something now that's dangerous.
Yeah, I
You
can
know?
see your point.
Yeah.
Yep. And when I was wondering where you're going with that, because I'm pro gun and all that.
No, I'm
but-
not saying anything.
Yeah. You're just using that for an example.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
In that particular case, anybody, whether you are pro-gun or you have problems with it, that's a situation you want to deal with. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Okay, what are we going to? Let's investigate this a little more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I just I thought that was kind of cool. So I was like, you know what, Mark's coming on tonight. I got to
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
ask
maybe
him
we'll
about
figure-
that.
yeah.
And we've never. That's one subject we've never talked about.
No,
was aliens and the universe.
Yeah, and the universe is it's like it's out there. But I remember when I was really young, I had this experience where I guess I had just learned about planets and things like that. And growing up I was in Catholic school, and they're telling you about God and stuff like that, and you're trying to put the two together.
Right.
How does the one work and how's the other work? And I just figured at some point, what came into my head is that everything comes up, like a sun. It comes up, it burns for a while, and then it goes away,
Sure.
and then it's gone, And I figured in my mind, my little mind, everything does that. So I was thinking,
Well, everything has a cycle.
yeah, everything has a cycle. But so just say that there's this purgatory or something that you go to. It's got to be somewhere, and that somewhere has got to eventually go away,
Ooh.
So I got in this mind kick,
This is when you were young.
I was like 7 years old, It scared the hell out of me, that everything you can not just everything that somebody tells you about, everything you can imagine will eventually be gone.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, that's the whole nothing lasts forever, right?
Yeah.
I had for many years when I was young, at Christmas time, I had a reoccurring nightmare
Mm-hmm.
every Christmas that I was buried alive.
Yeah.
That I technically,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote, died.
Yeah.
But then I woke up and I'm fucking in a casket in the
Yeah.
ground and
Hmm. Like you had the worst part of being alive, which is having the concept that you're alive,
Right.
But you were actually already dead.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up. It kept me up for a long. And
Yeah.
for some reason, I always had it at Christmas time, and I'm not sure how.
Why,
but
yeah.
Anyway, what do you believe happens when you die?
Okay. What I think happens when you die, I have to say what happens when we're here, is that there's. We think that there are globs of matter that are stars and planets and stuff like that, and in between there's nothing.
Okay.
But there's not nothing in between. What's in between is these energy fields, you know,
Of course.
that keep things. That's what, you know,
Keeps things separated.
gravity and all these things
Yeah.
keeps them separated, keeps them coming together and stuff like that. So there's all this vibrating energy in the universe, and that's where we come from. You know, like
I
when
agree.
when you're born, you know, it somehow seeps into that little skull of yours, you know, and animates you, you know. And when you go away, that just leaves. That whatever your vibration is that you have just goes back to the vibration that's already around, you know.
Oh, okay.
So
I see.
you don't really have like a separate self at that point. You're just part of everything.
Now, I agree that
Yeah.
the energy. Hang on just 1 second, okay? All right, sorry about that, dude.
Okay.
Technical difficulty that had to be handled. So my theory on that stuff is that we're energy, like
Yeah.
you know, similar to what you were saying.
Right.
So when you die,
Yeah.
your energy goes somewhere,
Yeah. Sure.
right? I don't know where it goes,
Yeah.
and I don't waste my. I don't. Not
Yeah. You don't
waste.
need the scientist to point at it.
I just know
Yeah.
that, yeah, and I believe highly that everything's connected
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in some way, right? And there is so much out there
Mm-hmm.
around us that we have fucking no idea what we're doing, dude.
That's true.
We think we have a handle on shit.
Yeah.
Fuck no, dude. We're
Well-
a blip in the.
Look at the things that we think that 100 years ago or even 50 years ago we would have thought were magic, you know?
Oh, absolutely. There's a.
Wi-Fi. Everybody uses Wi-Fi now. It's like you're watching movies on a phone. Phones didn't even exist 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you got a phone that has video pictures
Okay,
on it.
let's bring that a little closer. How about 5 years? Well, say 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure how old it is, but say 10 years ago. Would you ever have thought that you would have clicked an app on your phone,
Uh-huh.
walked out your front door, and gotten a perfect stranger's car, and then have them take you somewhere?
No. I would have
Right?
I would have thought I'd have to call the cops on that one.
Right. So now it's like you said, watching Wi-Fi and doing Uber.
Yeah.
That's just fucking life.
Yeah.
There, I saw a quote on, I think it was Instagram. A guy in like 1908, or was it? It was right there around the turn of the century.
Uh-huh.
He's like, "We invented everything that will ever be invented." No, we
People
don't need
will
to.
quote him forever.
Yeah, that's like, holy shit! Are you kidding me, dude?
Wow.
Yeah, but the other thing too is, speaking of that stuff,
Yeah.
I had a guest on not too long ago. He makes a really good point, and I'm going to reiterate it. Is we'll say since 1950. Okay, yeah, just to put a marker on it.
Okay.
right. The things that have been invented and that we use,
Yeah.
and has an impact on human and just society in general, has happened at such a pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know how to fucking handle it,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Prior to that, okay, TV was invented.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a shitty old TV.
Yeah.
Then you got a color TV.
Yeah, you had 13 channels for about 30 years.
Yeah, so
You know?
it kind of like we kind of like grew into it,
Right,
Right.
yeah.
So, but things now are happening at such a fucking pace.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. What do you do with it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's an acceleration of those things that are happening. And even if you wanted to be part of all of it, you can't.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
This is just too much happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what was the other thing that I heard? The pace of technology, or the pace of the advance in technology.
Yeah.
This is the slowest it'll ever be.
Yeah, it's just going to get more than
Just
this. Yeah.
like the pace of inventing stuff is going to get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. We're doomed.
I
We're
know.
fucking doomed,
I
bud.
tell you, when I was going to school, going to college, there was like one programming language everybody had to know. It was called C, right? Now, everybody and their brother creates a new language. There's like hundreds of programming languages now.
See, that's a complete mystery to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like, and that's just happened in the last, say, 30 years.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
so the same amount of change will probably happen in 5 years as it took the 30 years
And
to
then
do.
less and less time.
Less
yeah.
and- yeah. Yeah.
Until
Fucking
the
nuts.
point where artificial intelligence takes over.
Oh God, we go into all that. Oh.
Right.
So I've been asking every guest lately. When I say apocalypse, I don't mean the fucking zombie apocalypse.
Right.
I mean in apocalypse, something fucking happens.
Yeah.
Right. The definition of apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right. Major change. Do you know the movie Blade Runner?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know the movie Postman with Kevin Costner?
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay. So that is something happens to the world, and now it's basically 1800 again. There's no
Oh,
electricity,
okay.
no.
So everything gets thrown back.
Yep.
Right.
And everybody's living in like hamlets, and then they
Uh-huh.
got the evil army, and they
Yeah.
got everybody in hamlets, and they got a few loners, shit like that,
Yeah.
right? And when, I'm not saying if,
Yeah.
but when an apocalypse happens,
Uh-huh.
in your opinion, do you think society will be Blade Runner style or Postman style?
Uh-huh. Well, I think it comes down, there's another question which I'll pose, okay, which is when an apocalypse happens, is it going to be our fault or is it going to be something outside of our fault?
It's going to be our fault,
Yeah,
dude.
that-
We're
yes.
so narcissistic. Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
be
what
our
I thought
fault.
too. And so then if it's our fault, it's going to be really bad. It's one
Absolutely.
thing. It's one thing for like a big asteroid to come and hit the Earth.
No, because if
then
that,
there's bad stuff that's going to happen, but it's kind of predictable bad stuff.
yeah, but if a bad thing happens, okay, look at some things in recent history that are bad. 9/11,
Yeah.
earthquakes, fires,
Yeah.
like in California and that kind of thing. When something bad happens outside of us,
Yeah.
we band together
And we deal with it.
and we deal with it as
Yeah.
as a human species, right? Holy shit, our species is
We're threatened.
we're
and
threatened.
gonna
We're
do
all going to
something.
band together and do it. But when we fucking do it,
Yeah.
dude,
There's
that's
just pointing. Everybody's pointing. No,
Right.
you did it. You did it over there. That was the problem.
right, and that's why I think it'll be the human species.
Yeah, I think it'll
causing
be
an
more like what
apocalypse.
you said, Postman. If you
You
go
think
back
so?
to your
Yeah,
question,
I think so,
Yeah,
too.
because the Blade Runner assumes that certain things are going to continue,
Right.
Almost like certain parts of society, like the upper crust of society, who can hold on to the technology, can do certain things,
Right.
And I think when it happens, it's going to be a total blowout.
And kick us back 200 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously
Like
there's
this phone. This phone is when that apocalypse happens. Even if this phone is working, as soon as the battery goes down, it's useless. It's a brick. You
Right,
know?
right.
And people are going to have. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of these lying around.
Right.
People would be building houses with them.
yeah, doing something with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But with that though, what you were saying, the upper slants will always have that or would have that. Even if when that happens and we're kicked back 200 years, there's still going to be that societal
Yeah.
divide, right? There's going to be
Oh yeah.
somebody with everything,
Yeah.
with money, whatever that might consist of, right? Which comes with power and whatever that is at that time, right?
Right.
We have our idea of money and power
Yeah.
here now,
Right.
but if something happens, we're kicked back 200 years, money and quote unquote money and power might mean something completely different.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, the money and power then might be having the means to distribute food or something.
Right,
So
right.
then you have the power that you can then
Manipulate.
make people do what you want to do.
Right. So
you know?
and obviously anybody
Yeah.
that kind of takes a momentary glance at history, that's always been that way. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
As humans, it's always been that way. We've
Yeah.
always had classes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
that's
just-
not going to go away. Yeah.
They'll never go away.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too it'll be Postman style. I think
Yeah.
we'll be kicked back kind of
Yeah,
like a
which is
Stone
kind of
Age.
like Mad Max kind of thing,
Yeah, but there's like no vehicles or
Right,
anything.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's even further back. Well,
Yeah.
Mad Max
Well, I
is
think-
kind of the future, right?
Yeah, Mad Max is the future after something like that.
Two may
bad
enter, one
happens.
may leave. Fucking
But think
classic.
about it. All the technology in Mad Max is technology that people can kind of do without. You don't need a factory and stuff like. I mean, if you just get one guy, he can kind of get a car to run. Even
You
with
like the
parts.
older style car that
Yeah,
just has a
exactly.
fucking distributor
And-
cap and no computer and it, right.
And he can
yeah.
people can make guns out of
Right.
bamboo or whatever they're going to make it out
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
You know?
Okay, I could see that.
So that's the kind of level of technology that people can scrap together, you know. But the
Yep.
things that are happening now in these factories, where we're building these tiny chips and building LCD displays, that's never going to. That'll be gone.
Well, kicking back to a little, you brought up the cell phone and
Yeah.
technology and building stuff. The show I was watching about Saturn.
Uh-huh.
So 20 years ago, they launched that
Yeah.
satellite. They showed the room
Uh huh.
that operates that satellite and the same technology that is on that satellite,
Right.
so they can
So it's matched up with.
so they
yeah.
can fix, do whatever. This room was fucking huge, and
Yeah.
I was kind of dozing a little bit, and they told the square footage, and I can't remember,
Yeah.
but it was big.
Uh huh.
And they said that your cell phone has more power and
Yep.
computing power than that entire room does.
Yep. Yeah.
Isn't that fucking nuts,
So
dude?
think about it. The next time we send something to another planet, we'll have an app. You know?
And just watch it. Yeah, just watch it live on an app. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'll be as sophisticated as it is.
Speaking of planets, you think that we'll ever go to Mars and live?
I think we'll go to planets. I don't think we'll live there because it's just our bodies aren't made to live in
Yeah,
those
that's
places.
right.
So it's just like, it's like saying if we were going to do that, we already would have gone under the ocean and lived under the ocean because that's an inhospitable place for us as
Right, we're not built to live there.
Right.
Right.
So, people go down there to do research, but you don't see people saying, I'm going to set up a hotel.
Right.
It's just not really a thing. So I think the same thing's going to apply to other places that are hard to live on. The moon might be the closest, but still it's inhospitable.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we would have to depend 100% on what we create there. Mm-hmm. Like
Yeah.
here, this environment was created for us. Yes, of course, we've manipulated it, right? But look how long our species has been on this planet. Only a fucking, not even a blip.
A blink. Yeah.
But we could live on this planet without manipulating the environment.
Right. Yeah.
To where if you're on the moon or Mars, obviously a space station would be completely
Yeah.
out of the question, right? But that means we'd have to depend 100% on what we create.
Yep.
There's no support at all.
Nothing.
And
Yeah.
actually, there's stuff that's fighting against us the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't think it's viable either.
Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
don't think so.
that's-
Unless at some point, if we change what humans are, like if we start, adding enough things to a human being that they essentially become a machine.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm talking, a long time in the future. I think.
Yeah, right.
But it may come to a point where you could have a human in a box, and then you can put them anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see that.
But
But yeah, that's interesting stuff, That's
yeah.
no pun intended, that's a big subject.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. And,
Yeah, but
and think about all the, if there are other intelligent species or intelligent places, planets where people can live, it'll be interesting eventually to find that out.
That would be
You know,
super cool,
you
though.
know, yeah.
Because, like, you see, God, I don't fucking know what movie it was. Anyway, I'll think of it here in a second. But what they were doing was putting humans on the ship.
Uh-huh.
It's more recent movie, too.
Yeah.
And you were going into, like, a sleeping mode, stage, whatever.
Okay.
And the ship traveled for, like, 6 or 8 months
Right.
at hyperspeed or light speed or whatever
Yeah.
it may be. And then you woke up and you're somewhere
Yeah.
way beyond because we found a planet just like Earth or just about like Earth and yada, yada, yada. Do you think that would be possible?
I think it's possible. The question is, do we know enough about that other planet to bring everything we need with us?
Well, the first thing that I thought of,
Yeah.
because we're talking about like really how fragile a human body is,
yeah.
right? In the big picture of things.
Sure. Yeah.
Could we actually be put in a state like a coma
Oh yeah, I think that's
for
8 months. Yeah, I think so.
for a year,
there
maybe?
are people who they go into a coma and then they come out years later.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
guess
and that's
true. I didn't
that's a
think of that.
natural thing that happens to people if they get hit by a car or something like that.
Right. So imagine if it's drug induced.
Yeah, somebody induces it, and and plus it's in the science fiction movie, so it's got to be true.
It's got to be true. It's like it's on the internet.
I mean,
It's got to
wasn't
be
that on
true.
Planet of the Apes? They had that too
Oh, Planet of the Apes. That's a good movie, dude. They went a little too far on the
on the last one.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, toward the end, I was like, that's enough.
Yeah, I
dude.
thought that the reboot, would be really cool, but but then they do everything they do in all the modern movies, and it just gets
It gets a little
too
too
much, yeah.
Yeah. Whew, that was fun talking about that.
yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
cow! I didn't
Yeah,
think
it's
we
a
were
whole
gonna talk-
universe of possibilities.
So, you are a
I'm a magician,
magician. Well, in a
With-
way, right?
with,
Because you manipulate
a
strings on a
magical
guitar.
instrument. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about that. What's going on?
Well, I started playing when I was probably about 14 or 15. And I was like, I just want to learn how to play guitar. And I got this book, right?
It wasn't driven by a lady friend, was it?
No,
okay.
I wasn't even at that point yet. But that was soon to come into the picture. But I started off by saying, I just like this stuff that I hear and I want to play. And but I got this book, and it was all these jazz chords. Now, if you looked at this book and you try, it shows you where your fingers go, on your left hand on the fretboard.
Okay.
And I tried doing it. I couldn't even do it without moving my hands. I couldn't even place a finger here and there and the other place and get anything to make any sound,
Now, is that because it's jazz and it's different?
Because it's like jazz chords. You have to have extra long fingers, and I really give it to them, those guys who play that
Play
kind
jazz.
of stuff. But it was not a beginner's book, So then I just started like playing and listening to things and playing what I heard, and eventually over the years, I got to the point where I felt like I was competent,
How long you been playing?
Well, I'd have to give my age then.
Oh, touche. See, I tried to sneak that
There
in.
you go. So let's see.
Well, what I'm trying to do is give context.
About
of
40
like how long
years or
you've-
so.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
And and I would say I was probably competent or pretty good much earlier than I thought, because I had this kind of negative stereotype. I was thinking I'm just a wannabe, I don't really, I don't really do what they do. Those people who are out there making money, with their instruments and stuff like that, and writing songs. But that all changed one day, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, where I always wanted to write songs, and I always wrote little bits of songs. I just didn't have enough, energy in me and belief in me to get it all the way through and finish the song, Because I was just like, oh, it doesn't sound right, and I give myself all these excuses. But I was playing a part that I really, really liked that I had just created for a friend of mine and for his wife. And when I saw them, I was watching them as I was playing and singing and watching them. And I saw that to them it was completely real. To them it wasn't some hack. It wasn't somebody who was inexperienced. It was a complete presentation, a complete song,
Super cool.
Yeah, and that snapped something out of me. Like I stopped having that negative opinion. And from then on, I've been writing songs.
Because they didn't have the same story.
They didn't have my story.
You didn't have your story. Yeah.
They were just like, oh, here's a friend of ours, and he's playing something. And even before they said whether they liked it or not, I could just tell from their attitude of taking it seriously that they were getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And that it totally was enough to blow my story.
Yeah. Override it and move forward. Right?
Yeah. So after that, I kind of started writing songs pretty frequently, and now I have 3 albums worth of songs.
Holy shit.
Yeah. 2 albums I recorded myself, and one that I'm recording now in the studio, in a professional studio, which I have more instrumentation in. It's not just me and the guitar. It's me and all different kinds of guitars and bass guitar and drums and things like that. Yeah.
Nice. Now, what category would you put your music in?
I would say maybe...
To give people an idea of
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's sort of like pop or rock or alternative,
Wow, okay.
And on top of that, the first 2 sets of songs that I put together are, they're singer-songwriter, which usually means you're playing with an acoustic and it's your voice and the acoustic.
Okay. So when I see singer-songwriter,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's what they mean by that?
That's kind of what it is,
okay. I never
A
put that
singer-songwriter
together.
is usually like an acoustic thing that you're doing.
Okay.
But I've learned since then that you can write a song on an acoustic, okay? But that song can be something totally different when you record it. You can actually play that song and then add things to it so it becomes something more like what you hear on the radio, which is a song with a whole band.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of just straight up acoustic.
Well, I like it too.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
One thing about being an acoustic artist is that you're in control of everything. That's also the burden. You're in control of everything. You have to sing it. You've got to play it. If you're not doing it, it's not happening.
So are you like a one-man band with the pedal on your foot and the
No,
squeaky thing on your shoulder and all that?
I use the magic of recording.
Technology,
Exactly.
Right?
So
Got a drum machine.
I'll
and
do
all
two
that?
things at a time. I won't touch my head and rub my belly, but I can play guitar and sing at the same time.
Wow, man, well, speaking of that,
Yeah.
you have your guitar.
Yeah, I do.
You going to play something?
Yeah. What would you
yeah.
like?
Well, the one original song.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all I have. Give me a second.
All right. We got a special treat. Mark's got his guitar.
So we'll see. You can probably still hear me. I play these songs at.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to put the headphones on or not.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. Put
All right.
it in through here. I'll just put one ear on. That's it.
Yeah, so you
Right
can.
there. So I can hear myself.
Yep, yep.
And
pull that over toward you just a little bit there, buddy. We'll definitely be able to hear the guitar, so
Okay.
I'm not worried about
Yeah.
that.
So I'll get my
There you
face
go.
in there.
So what's this song? You want to play it and then give us the history on it?
Yeah, I think we'll
do
play
that?
it first.
Okay, cool.
And let's see. I think I'll try it like this and take that piece off. Okay, so this song is called Goodbye. Thought I'd be over this by now. Thought I'd forget you somehow. What's wrong? I don't feel right. Caught in this blue moonlight. Riding high, 10 miles of open sky, but nowhere left to run. I feel like a broken gun. Can't hold the pain inside. The years went by so slow. Forlorn, my heart was trapped. So lost, I did not know. There ain't no going back. Riding high, 10 miles of open sky, but no one left to hold. It's time, I've got to go. Forget this wasted life. "10 miles of open open sky. No bridges left to burn. By now you'd think I'd have learned just how to say goodbye.
Woo woo!
Okay.
That was super fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, that's goodbye.
So now we got to hear this. So that's an original by you,
Yeah, yeah.
and we got to hear the story behind that.
Okay. So the interesting thing I find about that song is that I had it for about 5 or 6 years. I just had this this part here. So riding high, 10 miles of open sky. That's what I had for 6 years. Okay. I didn't know where, and I liked that part so much because it felt like such a mood.
Right,
You
right,
know, like
right.
there's something here, I can feel it. And that I was intimidated about putting anything else next to it. Everything else I tried next to it didn't sound like it fit.
So give me an example of what you tried to put next to it, and you're like, it didn't fucking work.
I can't even do it that way anymore. It's like now that I hear it
You're
this way,
right,
I can't
right.
even remember the odd stuff that didn't work.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's probably good then, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is this one of your first songs?
No, this is a song that when I got to the studio and I was going to go in and do 10 songs, I only had 8 songs, and I had this from 6 years ago that I've been working on.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I really need to, I need to come up with 2 more songs. And one of them was this. So one day I sat down and I went to play it, and it came to me. The rest of it came to me, you know.
Like when you say it came to you, just like out of thin air, did something happen to you?
Yeah, the way that it comes to you is that you immerse yourself in the mood. So I could just play the part that I knew already.
like over and over again.
Yeah, you play it and then you just listen to it and play it and listen to it and don't let anything else interrupt you. And eventually, if you're in the right mood, that tunes you in almost like a radio dial. It tunes you
right.
into the song, and other things start to come up. So what you do is then you start. You know, I was like,
I love that part,
I
dude.
love that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and the little
Like,
turnaround.
hey,
So there's a little turnaround, and then after you have that turnaround, you're like, oh, he's talking during that time, and there's something going wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So you know that much, and then you get to this part, and you're like, oh, that's what leads into the other thing.
All right.
Yeah.
See, and I'll speak for myself, and it probably speaks for a lot of people too. My wife is super talented with a musical ear.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have a fucking musical ear. So, like, how you just described that
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I would have never thought about that
Yeah.
that way without you explaining it.
You
You know, I was just like, oh, that's cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I feel good. Okay, yeah,
But-
that moves me. It's like
Yeah.
and Val, my wife, will second this. I tell her all the time, I'll hear a song, and
Yeah.
I play it over and over again, right? I just get addicted to these
Yeah.
songs. And sometimes I don't like the words
Yeah.
to the song, but I like the beat and like the rhythm
Sure.
and the melody. I don't know how
Yep.
you would explain that.
Yeah.
But like if you listen to the true words of it,
Yeah.
it's like it's not negative, but it's not in a space that I'm in.
Yeah.
So it's not the
It's
words
like you'll
aren't-
have a happy song, what sounds like a happy song to you, and
Absolutely.
you find out it's about drug addiction.
Right, exactly.
Which is,
No,
I mean,
that's-
there's a place for songs about drug addiction, but to make them happy songs so people are like chatty and happy when they're singing them seems like to go against the grain.
Yeah, but
you
there
know?
are some people out there that probably want to hear a happy drug addiction song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's probably a market
There's a
for
group
that.
for everything.
For everything.
Yeah.
But that's what so I've been seeing I've been experiencing myself more as to me,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, a happy melody or happy music,
Right.
but the words are kind of not negative, but in a darker mood, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's just weird to to look into that instead
Yeah,
of just
yeah.
enjoying the song.
Yeah, enjoy it for the part that you enjoy.
Right, that's what
Now,
I've been doing.
As somebody who's writing stuff, I've realized that if I just write stuff and I give it, if the whole mood is the mood that I have, and the mood is sad or negative or something, because that's what it is, I'm doing a disservice to those people who just want to hear a good song.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right.
So, but you start off that way. You start off by writing about your life and
Well, I was
stuff
going
like
to
that.
say any comedian or
Yeah.
musician or anybody like that. That's where you get your inspiration is your
Right.
own life, right?
Yeah, but we can always be very negative about our own lives, much more than other people would, and that'll come through in the song unless you give it a little bit of a lift, and that's okay. At first, when I was writing stuff, I was like, no, if I'm in this bad mood and everything, everybody should be in that bad mood. And I'm like, but then I realized
There's a market for
yeah,
that.
when I go to play that song, people are just looking at me with a bad mood.
Yeah. You want to bring them around.
No,
right?
I want to. There is something to entertaining people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And entertaining people takes on all different forms, but you want to, you want people to have a positive experience of some kind. Whether that means that they could really understand a sad song, or whether they could relate with an angry song, or whether they can just sing along with a fun song.
So you going, because you said I don't know if we talked about it on the mic, but you said you go to like open mics and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Do you find that it's a huge compliment if people dance? Or is it not that type of venue that you...
It really depends. The venues are real different. If I go to a coffee house, okay, and I play there, it's a totally different environment than if I go to a bar that has an
Sure.
open mic. They
Yeah.
both have open mics. But in one place, you got a bunch of drunken people,
Right.
who are loud, and they may not even really care that there's any
They just
music
wanna
going
hear a
on.
beat.
Exactly. I mean, you could be a record player. Or,
Yeah.
You could be an MP3 player.
Showing their age there, record player.
That's right.
But a coffee house, it's more cool to just
Yeah.
sit and listen.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's okay. I mean, if people get up or they sing along, and
Or
it's
like
and
clap,
it's honest,
like sit back and clap
Yeah.
with you, and, it's
You know?
honest. I guess that's a big thing.
that's right. If it's honestly the way they feel, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people want to, they see other people having the spotlight, and they want to be part of the spotlight. And that's not really cool,
No,
because they're just
that's-
like trying to make noise, like look at me, like
Right,
like a
right.
kid who's trying to get attention,
Right.
And that takes away from not just me, but from any artist who's up there who's spent a lot of time trying to do
well,
something. Mm-hmm.
then it takes away from the rest of the crowd that paid good money or...
Yeah, or just is there to enjoy
enjoy
it,
it, yeah.
because you want to hear what the person has to say, who's singing,
Right.
you know.
Now, who are your inspirations with a guitar or just music in general?
Geez, there's-
And do you try to...
I get
okay.
into all kinds of music, I grew up with rock music, that kind of stuff, with like Led Zeppelin and stuff like that.
Classic rock.
Yeah, classic,
classic
stuff,
rock now, dude.
But it's funny, if you listen back to some of that now, and if you can be non-prejudiced against it, you can actually... I had a friend of mine just tell me the other day, he said he heard Stairway to Heaven on the radio, and he actually heard it for the first time in years. Because for a long time you're just hearing, oh no, that song that they overplay.
Right.
But he said he heard it for the first time in years. And he said there's some great stuff in there.
Some of that older music, just crazy talented. And
Yeah.
I'm not taking away from anybody that's
Oh, yeah.
musically talented, because that's fucking beyond me.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like, we'll listen to... not too long ago, we were on a road trip,
Uh-huh.
and we were listening to some music, right? And it was just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
just kind of listen to it. I put on some Bob Seger,
Yeah.
and it just changed the fucking mood.
Mhm.
It was just fucking you toe tapping. And
Yep,
it's like,
yeah.
you just feel it.
Yeah.
It just seems like there was more
There was
energy,
so
or
much.
just more put into it. So the more
Yeah.
they put into it, the more comes out of it, and you feel it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think one thing too is that what you were allowed to do was so wide open that people were just trying, their own thing. And that's always when you get the best stuff going on. When it starts to die is when people start to emulate the same sound over and over.
again,
And they
yeah.
start to, it's one thing to take a good line from something and then work a song around it. It's another thing to take almost the whole song and then just like, don't really do much with it and make it a different song.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I can
and
see
you get a
that.
lot of that lately where you don't really know which artist is which anymore because they're sounding all the same, you know, and, you know, that's more in the pop realm, you know. So,
Yep.
yeah.
You can play us another song?
Yeah, I can play some.
You got a good
A nice upbeat song.
upbeat jam?
Yeah.
What's the name of this one?
Well, let's see. I can do this one. I mean, I got to remember the names. I know how to play them.
Well, you can tell me the name after because it'll probably come to you, right?
This one's called Nowhere.
Oh, so we went from
Some goodbye to nowhere.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, whenever you're ready, I'll start it up.
All right, go ahead. I got to hit record.
You ready?
No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Today's a good day. Today's the best day. Today's a wonderful day. It won't be long till we get there. Where you going to? Nowhere. Can you tell me how we'll get there? 'Cause I've been searching for a mighty long time. Don't you know that we're already there? Don't you know that we're already there? Oh, when I see you now, I can remember the time that we met on Bleecker Street, and I knew you were gonna be mine. We could sit and talk till that place closed down, stumble in the empty streets with nobody else around. And you'd ask me, where are we going to? Nowhere. Can you tell me how we'll get there? 'Cause I've been searching for a mighty long time. Don't you know that we're already there? Don't you know that we're already there? Oh, oh, when tomorrow comes, we're gonna follow the sun. That's what we're gonna do. Why don't you come along and you'll see it's true that we made it. Where you going to? Nowhere. Can you tell me how to get there? 'Cause I've been searching for a mighty long time. Don't you know that we're already there? Where you going to? Nowhere. Can you tell me how we'll get there? 'Cause I've been searching for a mighty long time. Don't you know that we're already there? Don't you know that we're already there?
I like that one, dude. The other one's great too,
Yep.
but man, that's a good one, dude.
Yep.
I like the word. I like the words, man.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
So, older song, newer song.
This is a newer one, too.
Newer one?
Like within the last couple of years, 2 years or so.
Will this be on? Is this already recorded?
These two will be, they're recorded. They'll be on this
New
latest
album?
one that'll come out in the next, I'd say, month or two. Yeah.
You guys send me the link to your,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
so I can put it in the show notes.
Yeah, it sounds. I have a couple of the tracks pre-mixed, not the final mixes, up on SoundCloud and places like that. So I can give
Okay.
you those links.
Yeah, yeah. Nice job, dude.
Yeah, it's fun.
Super fun having you over.
Great. Yeah, it's good to be
thanks,
here.
man. Yeah, and I appreciate your help when this all started. Most people don't. know
Yeah,
that, but-
I'm so impressed at how you've taken it. You know, from that, you know, just not knowing how to stick things together to where it is now, which is
yeah.
great. You've got
YouTube
a bunch of
videos.
them in the can. You've
Yeah, I
got
got a bu-
videos. You got it's great.
Yeah, thanks, man. I got 7 or 8 on my SoundCloud account, and then I'm gonna and I have like 9 in the can.
Yeah. So
Right,
Yeah,
so-
it's a good start.
Yeah, when I get to like 15, then I'm gonna put it on a bigger platform so it'll get out further.
Right.
That way, some archive stuff, people find it and they binge listen. There'll be a lot out there, you know.
Yeah.
So-
and you never know, you may get a sponsor. You know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're not
but
gonna
this
say no.
This is a hobby, dude, and and I enjoy
Yeah.
talking to people and
Yeah. No, you
never
you,
knowing where the conversation goes. Look at tonight. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That
We
was fun.
were to the universe and back.
I tell you what, dude. Why don't you take us out with some jam?
Okay.
All right.
So let's see. I'll just do a jam.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. All right. Good to see you, dude. Man, that was a good time. I hope you enjoyed that. And to get more of Mark's music, the link is in the show notes here on SoundCloud. Skip right over to his account. Thanks again for everybody's support and continuing listening. I much appreciate it. And the feedback I've been getting, social media, text, emails, has been great. So thanks for that. And always looking to have some guests. So you want to come on, just hit me up from the website, waltzkitchentable.com. Thanks again and much love.